Hi everyone, my name is Asurf Oluwaseyi. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a director, writer, and editor. I live and work here in Lagos. I run a production company called Asurf Films Limited in Nigeria. We do films, documentary, concerts, and also web content. I am married. I've got 3 kids. I have a 17-year-old daughter, 10-year-old son, and the last baby in the house is 4. Yeah, I love my family. I'm just Fatherhood is one of the blessings that can happen to any guy, you know, right? It's your first time. Like for me, from my own experience, was the moment when I had to tell myself I have to be a better person, right? My life took a different shape the first day I set my eyes on my first child. And looking back, me of today is like me unbecoming the guy that I saw or the guy that I thought of the day I set my eyes on my first child, right? So I wouldn't say it's been all rosy and beautiful, but one thing you can take away from fatherhood is the fact that your kids are going to be that's for those that doesn't have any, they're going to be like your best friend. Like they'll be the most people that are close to you that would never judge you for like they will judge you when you're wrong, like in my case, and their judgment comes from a place of innocence, right? No bad law, no intention. There's no negative judgment from them. Like if they tell you yes, it's coming from their own perspective, and you understand the word love better when you have a kid. So, and at the end of the day, also on the other side of things, it also comes with some level of responsibility, both financial and personal development. And based on my own experience, I think fatherhood has shaped me to become this that I am. Been more kind, more loving, more reason to also judge my father like fairly, right? And yeah, I look back and I'll say I'm a better person having kids as to my days when I was without kids. Yeah. Some of the most pleasurable things that I've experienced as a father is joy, undefining joy. My kind of job is quite crazy. It can be a complicated life if you happen to work in my kind of field, right? And it comes with a different level of pressure as well. The fact that I have kids has been able to make me see the beauty side of life beyond work, right? I have a very sweet bond with my kids. Like they're my best friends. You can see my face change when I started talking about them like this, right? They're like my best friend in the world. I have the kind of relationship I never had with my dad, with my kids. Like, in fact, my choice of fatherhood was like my opinion of fatherhood that I dreamt of, that I wished for from my father, that I didn't get. So it was just me, like literally just fine-tuning those ideas, right, and trying to incorporate it in my own life with my kids. And I try as much as possible to remind my kids that, yo, guys, this is not. These are some privilege. It's not like I didn't get some of this kind of experience, so don't get too gassed in it, right? Also understand that there are other kids that might not have this kind of relationship. So I build a kind of friendship with my kids. I don't get to see them often, but I never miss a day without them. I don't think there's a day in their life that they feel like, okay, my dad doesn't exist, even though we don't see each other every day. I don't spare to correct them when they match, but I judge them and I interact with them like my friends. That has helped me get to understand their mind better, and also make me being much open to them, and I think has also helped them also being more open to me. And this has bettered the beautiful experience that makes me balance my work. So as much as the work comes with pressure, knowing fully well that I have this joy, this bundle of joys that I can call, that can message me, that can check up on me. Yo, have you eaten? Dad, have you slept? Are you okay? So there was like, are you happy? it's rare for someone to just buzz you and just say, are you happy? So I get that often from my kids. And I have 3, although 1 can't message, but 2 can. And in the middle of all the pressure that works brings, having them in my life makes it quite easy to see fun in living and wanting to live more. I don't think I've ever had a worst father moment. No, never. I've had good and I've had scary moments. I think I'll start with the scary moment. One of the scary moments was when we had our last baby in the US. It was my first time of actually staying in the labor room with my wife, and everything that I saw was never anything close to what I've probably seen in movies or probably what I've heard from people. It was a different experience. It made me also respect my wife more, and also motherhood in general. So that's why I would use the word fearful. And then the night, I think the second night after having our child, I noticed it wasn't breathing, and I had to quickly call the doctors and the nurses in the hospital, and they had to come in, quickly rush him and start pumping air in his mouth. It was very scary for me, because if you have an idea what it means, I don't have any family abroad, even though I travel often. And so it was a long-term planning and a lot of investment traveling with my wife to the US to have our baby. And then, so you can imagine 48 hours after all of this pain, spending 3 months, like living 3 months in the US, even before we had the baby, and the baby wasn't breathing, and I was just there. It was very scary, but thank God for the guys at the hospital. They literally come to our rescue and then revived him, and he was fine. So I'll say that was one of the most scary moments. So there's no bad, because I don't say bad. I just say even some challenges, I count them as part of growth or part of the experience. It can never be all good, but in good, every day is always good. What better ways are there to be an active father and a better father in the life of your kids, and not just the head of the family? If you've been following the conversation so far, it's just being their best friend, right? Being that guy that they can walk up to and tell their biggest fear, right? Being that guy that they would not feel bad or scared to feel in his presence. Being their friend requires everything that being friends with your normal friends requires. Like, you can't be too rude to your friends. You can't be too judgmental to your friends, because what? They've got other options. The moment you are in a friendship that you kind of feel the friendship is not balanced. Yeah, what do? What we do mostly is just we lose touch. So as you stop calling them, you stop chatting them, you stop asking them questions, because you feel like at the end of the day, you're just going to brush it off, right? It's the same thing with your like father and kids relationship. Build that kind of relationship, knowing fully well if you misjudge them or you judge them wrongly, if you treat them badly, not discipline, right? If you treat them badly, or if you correct them wrongly when they seek trust in your judgment, they can start pulling back, right? And they won't tell you. Just notice that sometimes you just try to, it seems that they're worried or they're sad or something is not just working, and you try to ask them what's going on, and they just tell you, I'm fine. Which is what we do to our friends when we don't want to share our worries and fears with them, right? So just be their friends. Like, be the guy that they can talk to when something is not going the way they want it outside, right? And they'll find it convenient to come home and tell you that, yo, this is what happened in school. I think my teacher said something that I don't like, and they're not telling you to go and fight for them, but they're telling you that they already respond some type of way, but I'm telling you because they might call you from school, and this is why Do you get? So build that kind of relationship, that kind of friendship, right? So don't find it very hard to also correct and not punish, right? Correct and not punish. And one good thing that I do so well for my kids is I use the principle of reward. I have a reward system that I play with my kids. If I want them to learn something, I give them, okay, you dedicate 2 hours daily to learn that thing, and I pay you 300 naira per hour. Nobody say no to money, to free money, right? So create like a reward system. If you want them to do something, or you want them to learn something, put some incentive forward, right? If you want to call it bribe, right? They don't spend like we do, but they also love the idea of having money, and that they can buy ice cream when they want to ask ice cream, knowing fully well that you say no to the ice cream, right? And when you are creating this reward system, let them understand that, like for my daughter has her own allowance, that I have to approve some of these expenses over 5,000. But our reward system for everything that she's learning is her will, is her money. Like she doesn't need my approval, she doesn't need my consent to spend the money. If she chooses to buy a shoe with all of it, that's her choice, right? So create like a reward system that encourage them to be that kind of person or that kind of child or children that you want them to be. And it all comes from being their friend. How many Father's Day do we have in a year? We only celebrate one in Nigeria. How many Mother's Day do we celebrate in Nigeria? We literally celebrate every Mother's Day. Do you understand? So as much as I wish it, it's almost impossible. What I would just wish maybe from our wives, just judge us fairly, right? Yeah, let's judge us fairly, knowing fully well that we're that character that people hardly ask, are you okay? Right? And we're indifferent of human to the female gender. But for a man, it's quite harder, right? Your first response, I'm a Yoruba man from a Yoruba culture. Your first responsibility as a father is protection, right? And being responsible for your family. Like you have to take care of your wife, your wife's family, your younger ones, your extended family, your friends in terms of need, your workers in terms of need. And when you look at all of this, right, you realize nobody actually have the responsibility to look after you. Because even our wife, we expect our wife to help us take care of the kids at home, right? Not to take care of us or look after us. So when you now look at everything in general, nobody really. So as much as I wish, it's almost not going to happen. I would just ask and beg that you guys should judge us fairly. How do I hope to celebrate Father's Day? How do I hope to celebrate Father's Day? No hope, no too much expectation than just waiting for them to send me a message, oh, happy Father's Day, which is always what they do every year. Send me a message, wake up to messages. Or if they want to be nice enough and say and do a call and saying, yeah. Or if I happen to be at home, probably wake me up with water. I don't know, I'm just looking forward to whatever my kids choose to do to celebrate me for this year, Father's Day. And whatever they choose to, I'll be more than willing and happy to take it as it comes.